Mayfield. The makeup industry has a rising star on its palette, Juliana Mayfield. National makeup educator Juliana Mayfield lives by the motto, when a woman looks good on the outside, her confidence radiates on the inside, which enables her to accomplish anything in her preview. Excuse me. At a young age, Juliana was teased, mocked, and bullied for her dark skin and overweight body structure. Diagnosed with depression by age 7, playing in her mother's makeup became an outlet and safe haven from the emotional abuse. This is when Juliana realized that makeup brought her joy and that various products had the ability to change attitudes and enhance confidence. Juliana's roots were embedded in the makeup industry practically since birth. She was fortunate to grow up with a mother who served as an elite executive national sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, Gloria Mayfield Banks. By age 15, Juliana was well versed and visible in her mother's makeup circles. During the start of her career, Juliana attempted to look for expert artists willing to mentor and teach her. Frustrated with their reluctance to share insights, she spent years teaching herself the art and science of makeup application. This ultimately led to her to create the Hooked Look Glamour Workshop. Get excited! A hands-on makeup color class that helps women to identify and achieve the look that best complements their personal image. Love it. Today, Juliana travels around the country with her Hooked Look makeup workshops, teaching women of all ages how to apply makeup. The interactive glamour lesson has been sold out across the nation in major cities such as Los Angeles, Chicago, Oakland, Houston, Seattle, Salt Lake City, Philadelphia, and get excited, Hotlanta. She has also taught over 10,000 women. Wow, say that, wow. In the Mary Kay Cosmetics sales force, how to enhance their image and how to apply the cosmetics on their clients. Say, slam your face.
Slam your face.
That's right. Juliana believes that makeup application is more than what is stated, but it's a platform to empower women to understand and showcase their best self through makeup and image branding. Juliana received her bachelor's degree in economics from Spelman College in Atlanta and graduated from Makeup Artist Studio, AMAC or MAC Cosmetics Institution. So I want you guys to get on your feet, raise the roof for my girlfriend, Juliana Mayfield.
I'm so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Y'all give Lisa a huge round of applause. We are going to have some fun. Sit down, sit down, sit down. We are going to have a lot of fun today. Welcome to the Hooked Look class. This is a glamour class unlike any other because it's very much a workshop and it's very much about you. So the way that we are going to do the workshop today is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach up here, and I'm going to teach on a model, and I'm going to go step by step, going through the steps and through the techniques about how to apply the makeup. Then there's going to be a breakout session, and during that breakout session, this is where you guys are going to do the makeup on yourselves, okay? And this is when I'm going to come around and I'm going to help you to develop the technique for yourself. Okay, this is very much a classroom because look around you, you guys. There's different eye types and different lip types, right? So this is where you're also going to be able to find out what other people, when you're sharing the product, what other people that don't look like you, how they apply their makeup, right? So it's very, very interactive in the way that it's going to have. I want you guys to have fun. This is a very interactive class. Okay, so during the breakout session, there are going to be two. The first one, we are going to start with flawless foundation. And then the second one, we're going to go into more color application, eyes and lips. Okay? So just be mindful as we're going on. It really doesn't even matter how great your smoky eye is going to be or your amazing red lip is going to be if you don't have a powerful foundation. So we're going to spend a significant amount of time starting on the foundation first, okay? Are y'all ready? Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So can anybody, I'm going to ask you guys, can anybody guess what industry we're in Mary Kay? Just throw out some answers. Beauty? Yeah, and even more broader category industry than that. Personal care? Yeah, but there's a larger umbrella. Image? Close to. Anybody else want to guess? Cosmetics. We are in the cosmetics industry, but there's even a larger umbrella that covers even the cosmetics, the beauty, and the image industry. Health? So not really. We are in the health industry in the skincare part, but more than that, on the cosmetic side, we're in the fashion industry, right? We're in the fashion industry. So what happens in the fashion industry if nothing else happens? Change. That's it. Change is going to happen for sure. So I want you guys to focus on the techniques that we're teaching today. The techniques that I'm going to be teaching today are timeless. Okay. So they're not going to change necessarily as the products change. Does that make sense? Because Mary Kay is so great and they're so on the cutting edge that they always want to stay up with the trends and the changes that happen in the fashion industry. However, sometimes when we get new products or old products are discontinued, we're like, okay, well, how do I look the same way, or what do I do with this new product? Well, the techniques that I'm going to teach you today are going to be constant. They're going to stay the same even as the products change. So we want to focus on the techniques, right? And not so much on the products. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, cool. So we're really gonna focus on that. So I'll let you know again, like I said, I'm going to be going around and helping you guys to each individually develop the look on yourselves. So even if you have, so again, because we're focusing on technique, I am going to be talking a lot more about color. But if I come around and you have you want to try green and purple eyeshadow, I'm going to look at you, smile, and say blend, okay? Because that is where I am concerned with, right? Is the technique. So let's get started, you guys. I want you guys to really welcome Karen up as a model. Give her a huge round of applause. Y'all, it takes bravery. Come on and sit down, Karen. It takes some bravery to come up here to be a model. Isn't that right? No makeup at all. Okay, so this is really awesome. So the thing about it, I'm going to do half of Karen's face so that she's able to do the other half, okay? I want to give that disclaimer now because when I didn't give that disclaimer before in another class, everybody started doing half of their face. And I was like, where are you guys going to after this? A drive-through? Because that's the only place you can go to with half of your face done, right? That's it. So I want you guys, when you guys do the breakout session, that y'all are going to do your whole face. Cool? Yes. Awesome. Okay, so let's start with flawless foundation. Step 1 in flawless foundation, it doesn't take a lot of steps, but it definitely is about building your foundation opposed to just putting it on. Okay? First, we're going to start with primer. Primer is essential because what it does is it helps to fill in large pores and fine lines. Right? It prepares the skin for a layer of makeup to go onto it. Otherwise, your foundation is going to sink into those areas, and throughout the day, it's not going to look as smooth. It's also not going to last as long because your face oils are going to come through and they're going to affect it. So you want to try to have a primer. A primer is kind of like a base coat for your nail polish. Anybody use a base coat for your nail polish? It helps the nail look a lot smoother. It helps the nail polish last a lot longer, right? It's really essential, and it acts as an adhesive for the makeup. That's what your foundation primer does. So we're going to use that. And I am not stingy with my foundation primer, let me tell you. That whole dime size, piece size I need a little bit more than that, okay? So we're going to use a little bit more. And I'm going to start. The thing about primer is you want to make sure that it goes on your entire face. So because you can't see it, you have to track it, okay? So let's see, you're going to look straight ahead over there. So what I'm going to do is I start from the top of her face and work to the bottom on one half. And then I work my way on the other half from the top to the bottom. Again, we're only going to do one half of her face. but you can see that I'm working and I'm applying it much like I apply her moisturizer. I'm just working it into the skin. On top of the lip, going down the nose, underneath the eye, and then down on the chin. And this is a silicone-based product, so it feels kind of like, it feels very silky going on. Have y'all tried it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Can y'all see that? No, you can't, right? I know. Everybody's like, no, I cannot see that. And that's why you have to track it. But it is all over. Now it is covering her entire face. Now we're going to move to our next step, and that is going to be correcting. There's a difference between concealing and correcting. See, with concealing, I usually do concealing when I have blemishes or something, or scarring or something like that that needs to be covered. Correcting is color correction. So I'm going to color correct certain areas in the face. You're talking about if you want to correct redness in the skin or darkness under the eyes, dark spots, anything like that. So this is where color correcting comes in, okay? So that's a little different than just concealing. Concealing, I would just use my concealer just to cover up those areas. But sometimes if you have excessive redness or excessive darkness, what happens is that we're using a lot of concealer just to cover up that one spot, right? And sometimes even when you do that, it still comes through and it peeps through your foundation, and that is not cute, right? So we're going to go ahead and correct the color. Let me show you how. There are two separate products. Usually the most popular areas that need color correction are redness and dark circles or dark spots or age spots, freckles and things like that that are kind of all in the darkness area, right? So for darkness, a lot of women have it, usually under the eyes. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use facial highlighting pen number 3 for all skin complexions. Facial highlighting pen number 3, all skin complexions. From ivory to bronze. The reason for that is because facial highlighting pen number 3 has a coral undertone to it. So because it has a coral undertone, corals cancel out, they neutralize browns, okay? So we're talking about neutralizing it. We're talking about literally taking away the color. Not covering up the color like a concealer would do, but taking away the color, okay? So that's the trick. So we're gonna use facial highlighting pen number 3, and we're just gonna go ahead and put it right there, and you're literally gonna see it disappear right before your eyes. We're putting this on before foundation because we don't want it to compete with our foundation, right? We don't want these colors to compete. Now notice, I'm just pressing it in to the skin. Anywhere she had any kind of darkness, you see how I just press that in? Not swiping it, but really pushing it into the skin. Now, if you'll look to your left and to your right, Karen, would you pan the room for me?
Okay.
Kind of like Vanna White would do. She would like go right around. Yeah. Can everybody see the difference between her left and her right side? It already makes a difference. So we took that color out. Now we're going to also deal with redness. A lot of women also deal with redness in the skin. Now, the way to neutralize redness is to use something with green in it. That's what cancels out redness. So what we're going to do is, because we don't have anything in the product line that has green in it, like a green tint, we're going to create something. Are y'all excited?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get Karen's concealer. We're going to get the color that matches her skin tone. We're going to squirt a little bit on the back of my hand or on your tray. Okay? Then we're also going to pick up Grass Meadows, Meadow Grass, the eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow. And we're gonna go ahead and mix the two together. We're gonna mix the two together, and this is gonna create the perfect product. So it's like 2 parts green, 2 parts concealer. It's 2 parts concealer, 1 part green, okay? Now we're just gonna apply it directly to the face. And I'm gonna get my concealer brush. And I'm just going to apply it anywhere there's redness. Not all over, but anywhere there's redness. You can kind of see it's a little green, right? Mm-hmm. And then on the side of the nose. And you can literally, before your eyes, you'll see the redness just disappear.
And that holds true for bronze skin too.
Yeah, yeah, even if you have bronze skin and you do have redness in your skin, absolutely, this will work. Just remember to use your concealer. I'm just getting a little bit out because I start with a little bit and then work my way up, just because that's a little bit of this product will go a very, very long way, right? So I'm going to go ahead and mix the two together just so that it gives the concealer a green tint. And I'm just wiping it right there, anywhere again that there's gonna be redness. And we're spending a little bit more time on the foundation because, again, with a flawless foundation, you'll get way more compliments on your face than if you didn't have, because it gives it the appearance that you have flawless skin. The appearance that you have flawless skin, okay? So we're gonna go all over her nose and her cheek area and her chin. Very, very common areas that a lot of women have excess redness. And already, if you pan to your left and your right, you guys can see the difference there. It takes out the redness. Now her redness is not going to compete with the foundation that's going to go on top of it. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay. Now you'll notice I'm going to put a lot of stuff on the back of my hand, and that's just by habit. My hand is portable. It just makes it very easy to work around. Okay, but you can go ahead and use your tray. Now we're going to go ahead and move to foundation. Because she doesn't have any blemishes or anything like that, I'm not going to use concealer by itself on her skin. She doesn't necessarily need the concealer. But usually I would probably need concealer if she had blemishes that needed a little bit more covering up, even on top of the color correction, okay? I would probably use concealer at this step right here before I put on her foundation. Okay, now going on with her foundation. We're going to go ahead. I love this liquid foundation, and I love the fact that it's buildable, because that's exactly what I'm going to do with her face. Is I'm going to build her foundation onto her face. Has anybody had a problem with cakiness, right, with foundation? Or you'll find some people are very hesitant to wear foundation because they don't want that cakey look, right? Well, that is usually, not even usually, that is 99.8% human error. Get excited. Okay? It's cakey makeup. It's 99.8% human error, you guys. So the next time somebody gives you that same excuse of, I don't like foundation because it's way too cakey, you just look at them like, oh, you're bad. Because it's all you who's doing it. It has nothing to do with the product. So let me show you how to apply it so that it's not cakey. The thing you want to do is you want to build on your foundation. You want to apply a thin layer first and then build on the areas that need a little bit of extra product, or what I call extra love, right? So I'm going to get my foundation brush with this, with the liquid foundation. I love the foundation brush because it applies it very evenly all over the face. What I don't like are streaks. How many are with me? Yes. Right? Absolutely. So let me show you guys how to avoid streaking. What you're going to do is you're going to paint and pat, okay? You're going to paint and pat. So the way to do that is you are going to start by painting the color onto the face. Painting the color on, starting in a specific area, and you're going to pat. This helps to blend it. So you're going to paint it on all over the color correction that we put on there originally, and then you're going to pat. This is going to remove that streak. So that it can look more like skin. So you're going to paint it all the way down to the chin, on the cheek. Can everybody see? Awesome. And then you're going to paint pat. I'm going to go a little bit over on top of the eye with a little excess that was on my brush. Don't forget the tip of the nose. And let's see here. Okay. I'm also going to pull a little bit into the hairline so that you don't have that mask, right? Sometimes what I do is I just take my finger and I just kind of smudge it in there in the hairline, just so that it's there's no separation. Also, don't forget to bring it underneath the chin. Underneath the jawline. Okay, so let's see, Karen. See, okay. So now you guys can see the difference between her left and her right side. Makes a huge difference. The redness is no longer competing with the foundation anymore now, is it? So you're gonna look to the left. Would you look to the right for me? Doesn't that make a difference? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now what you've done after you put on that initial layer, you wanna step back away from your work and you wanna actually analyze where you might need some extra product, right? Sometimes it might just be the cheek. Sometimes it might be the nose. Sometimes it may be the chin, but you only want to put product in that area, not the whole face. You don't have to do the whole face. You don't have to do a whole nother can of paint, okay? You just have to put it in that area. So let's say I would just say, oh, right around the nose might need a little extra love. Then I'm going to put foundation only in that area. Going back to what we were talking about before, and that's the building of the foundation. Okay. See that, and do you see how clear her skin now appears, right? It's not about what you got, it's about what other people can see, okay? So, isn't that great? Doesn't that look gorgeous already? And that's how we build a flawless foundation. Now that wasn't too many steps, was it? We did the primer, we did the color correcting, and then we did the foundation, and she has gorgeous clear skin already. Flawless foundation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set that foundation. So we're going to set it using her powder. This is what's going to lock her foundation in place so that she's not going throughout the day and her makeup, just the cream and the liquid formulas just kind of fall off her face. It also helps to avoid any kind of emollients from her skin or oils from her skin that might come and attack the foundation. So we're going to just use some powder to go ahead and set her foundation. Now, let me ask you, Karen, are you oily or dry?
I'm dry.
You're dry. Okay, so we're not going to use a lot of powder. We're just going to probably just use a little bit on her. Now, if you're oily, you would want to pack that sucker down. Who is, okay, right? Who is oily? I know it, me too. Girl, powder is my best friend. Let me tell you, my nose gets a little juicy in a little bit. Y'all tell me, okay? Because that's time to powder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our powder.
It's closed.
Oh, yeah, I just
Oh, okay.
open it. Thank you. We're going to take the powder brush, and we're just going to take a little bit right on the top of the brush, and we're just going to go ahead and I'd like to at least get on top of the eyelid for her powder, at least. Because we know that usually even if you're dry, sometimes the oils on your eye are still excessive and can affect your makeup. Okay, so you just want to dust it on. This is for dry, if you have dry skin. Now, if you have oily skin, I'm just going to show you what you would do. If you have oily skin, I take the powder, a significant amount of powder, just like this, on my brush, and I actually tend to press it in, I press it into the skin. I'm not going to do this all over her whole face because we don't want it all over her face. Press it all over the skin. After I'm finished pressing it all over the skin, I will go ahead and dust it. Okay. So do you use powder usually,
Yes.
Karen? Okay. So again, because she's dry, if you're dry, and you don't usually use powders, you can skip this step. But this is what helps to lock everything in. Okay, can y'all see that? Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to go on to our next step. And that is going to be bronzer. Now, I like to use this technique called bronzing. Yeah, it's really fun. So you're going to use bronzer to kind of contour your face. Okay, so I'm going to use either I can use a powder, or I can use a blush or a literal bronzer to bronzer her face. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my powder brush. My cheek brush. I'm going to get my cheek brush. And I'm going to get a powder that is pretty, a bronzer on my brush. And I'm going to start up here. I'm going to identify first where her side, like right at the top of her sideburn is, right here. So if you'll turn to the left, right here where my two fingers are, that's going to be the top of your cheekbone, right there. That's where you're going to start bronzing the face. And you're going to bring it right down. If she smiles for me, you're going to bring it right down into her cheek, right there. You're also going to pull it up into her hairline just a little bit. And notice I'm being pretty light-handed with it because you don't want to see a lot of the bronzer. So let's see, look forward for me. Awesome. I'm going to also drag a little bit on her hairline up here. It just adds dimension to the face. Again, you want to start with a very small amount. Now make sure that the bronzer that you're using is a little darker than your natural skin tone. Because when you're contouring, the purpose is that those areas are supposed to recede so that the other areas are defined. So it gives you more, it can give you a shorter forehead or a more defined cheek and jawline. I'm going to go ahead and dust it on her jawline as well, just a small amount. And it really just helps to warm the skin up. Can y'all see that there? So Karen, look to your left arm. Can y'all see that? It makes such a difference in her skin, right? So that's gonna be your bronzing, really kind of putting bronzing to the test where you're contouring. Okay. Now you also can see how her face is a little lifted, right, by using that technique as well. Absolutely. So we as women, it's very important that we use techniques that lift, isn't that right? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. So now we're going to go on to doing brows. I'm going to get brow pencil. And that's a good point. Now, if you have light colored brows, use a pencil that is one shade darker than your brow color. Okay, you want to use a pencil that is one shade darker than your brows. If you have dark brows, like brown, dark brown, brunette, anything like that, you want to use a pencil that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your brow color. Okay? Not the same color, because the same color is going to make your brows appear darker and thicker. Right? Yes, y'all tried that, right? Absolutely. Now, I don't know about darker, but I want nothing on me thicker, okay? I don't know about you, but that is not one thing I want thicker, okay? So what we're going to do for Karen here, we're going to use a brow pencil that is a little darker than her brows because it helps to define her light hair color, okay? And now remember, I'm talking about matching the pencil to your brow color, not your hair color. It can be two different things at sometimes. Am I right? Absolutely. Get excited to be a woman, right? Absolutely. We got so many choices. So we want to use a brow color that is 1 to 2 shades darker for Karen here than her actual brow color. What we're going to do to fill in her brow is we are going to draw a line through the bottom hairs of her brow. We're going to outline the bottom hair of her brow, straight through from the head of it to the tail. Because we're going to fill in that brow. Do you guys see that? Made just one line. The bottom hair. Right through the bottom hairs of the brow. Now we're going to go ahead and reach for our eyeliner brush. That's this angle brush here. And we are going to go ahead and smudge that color up into the brow. We're going to just smudge that color. Can everybody see that? We're going to smudge that color up into the brow, right there at the head. As we get to the tail, we're going to kind of smudge over it, just to soften that line. Can everybody see that there? And so look over here for me. Can everybody see the difference? Now her brow is a lot more defined. Right, without looking like a raccoon. Yeah, absolutely. So if you want a little bit more color, you can go ahead and apply just another line wherever you need. Let's say at the head. And again, you're going to get your eyeliner brush and you're going to smudge that color, pull that color into the brow. Because what it's doing is it's coloring the skin behind the brow, which gives the appearance of a lot more hair, fuller hair in that area. Okay? Can everybody see that? Making it very simple, very clean, right? Yeah, absolutely. And the best thing about this technique is that even if you have missed a couple of trips to the salon, you know how we do, that you can actually define your brow and it will make it appear a lot more cleaner, right? So it'll distract away from any stray hairs. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and add the blush. We're gonna go ahead and get that blush brush again that we had originally. And we're gonna add a little bit of blush. Let's see here. And if you'll smile for me. I like to apply the blush starting on the outside, kind of right on top of the bronzing, and then bring it to the apple of the cheek. The apple of the cheek is that highest point that when she smiles, it's right there. So I like to start here on the outer corner of her face and then move to the inner corner with that blush. And I like to just hit it right there at the apple as well. Let's see here. Okay. And now you see how I use Shy Blush. I use a very pink blush on her skin because really her skin is telling me what colors would look gorgeous on her skin. So pinks really do look gorgeous on her skin because I can tell she has redness in her undertone. She has redness. So that just tells me that pinks would look gorgeous. The trick is to take the pink out of where it's not supposed to be and put it where it is supposed to be, right? So I took the pink out of her skin and put it back in her cheeks, and it really does complement her skin tone and her eye color, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Can y'all see that? Awesome. So now you see the difference, and that is part 1 of the Hooked Look Workshop. Get excited. Awesome, and that is your flawless foundation. Awesome. Are y'all ready to get started? Yes. Awesome. Give Karen a huge round of applause. Great. So how many love that part 1, that flawless foundation? Woo! Awesome. So now we're going on to eyes and lips. Get excited. Really quickly, will you bring up your mascara as well? Yeah, so, and then your eyeliners too. Okay, so we're gonna start with eyes. So we're gonna start with eyes, and I'm gonna give you guys some notes to really jot down, because I think that this is an area that a lot of people struggle with, right? A lot of people struggle with what color eyes and also eye shapes, right? So let's deal with eye shapes first. When it comes to eye shapes, there are about 5 or 6 different eye shape categories. Every single woman can go into 3 different categories, okay? 3 different eye shapes. Those 3 different eye shapes are almond, deep set, and hooded. Okay? Almond, deep set, and hooded. Every woman can fall into one of those 3 eye shape categories. So let's identify them. Almond, you have, with an almond eye, they have the same amount of upper and lower lid on their eye. Okay? So lower and upper lid, the same amount of distance. Let me look for a great example of an almond eye set. Let's see here. Let's see. I think you actually have a great almond eye. So if you guys can see Karen, if you'll look forward for me, she looks straight ahead. Do you see how much bottom lid she has and how much top lid she has? Can y'all see that? If you'll pan the room again. Can you guys see that? Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so now deep set. Let's see. Would you mind standing up for us? Okay, with deep set, you can actually see that the brow bone protrudes on top of the eye a little bit, over the eyelid a little bit. So it looks like the eye is kind of falling into a little bit of a socket, right? The crease is very sunken into the eye. So that is how you would identify a deep set eye, okay? Awesome. Now with hooded, they have a very small amount, if any, lower eyelid. It's the top of their eyelid falls on top of their top eyelid falls on top of their lower eyelid. very much. So you really won't see it when it's completely open. And I'm looking for, or they might have a lot more upper eyelid than lower eyelid. Let's see. What's your name? Deshawn. Okay. If you guys can see Deshawn, can you guys see that she has a lot more upper eyelid when she's looking straight ahead? You have to do this when you're looking straight ahead, not looking down. But she has a lot more upper eyelid than lower eyelid. Can y'all see that? So that is what you would describe as a hooded eyelid. Okay? Every woman falls into those three categories. So I don't really focus on closed set or wide set because then it just kind of makes things a lot more confusing. We're all about simplifying the process here, right? So let's just stick with those three categories. Now, moving on to eye color, okay? Eye color is, again, another area of difficulty for a lot of people, especially those who are consulting other people on cosmetics because they're like, if they don't look like me, I don't know what color to put them in, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's simplify that process as well. You don't have to put everybody in a whole, you don't have to have a whole lot of eyeshadow colors in order to know what to do. I actually stick with a combination of about 6 to 9 different eyeshadows that I suggest for different people. Okay? So, if you are ivory or beige skin tone, you are going to wear the same exact mid-tone and highlight eyeshadows. I do have to remember, you guys, we're going to use 3 eyeshadows today on your lids. 3 eyeshadows. The lightest color is going to be a highlight color. The middle color of the trio is going to be the mid-tone, which is kind of a little darker than the highlight color. And then the darkest of the trio is what's called the accent. Okay, so we have highlight color, just high, it's the lightest of the 2. Highlight, lightest of the 3, I'm sorry. Mid-tone, which is the middle of the 3, and then accent, which is the darkest of the 3. Okay, so going back to my example, ivory and beige skin tones are going to use the same exact highlighter and mid-tone colors, and let me give you those colors, those color combinations that I use. They will use Sweet Cream as a mid-tone. And something like Spun Silk or Crystalline as a highlight. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Brain fart. Okay, that was the wrong one. Okay, so sorry. Ivory and beige skin are going to use Sweet Cream as a highlight. Sweet Cream as a highlight. Pardon me. Sweet Cream as a highlight. Hazelnut as a midtone. Okay, Sweet Cream as a highlight, hazelnut as a midtone. If you're bronze skin tone, okay, if you're bronze, you are going to use Golden Vanilla as a highlight. And Amber Blaze as a midtone. Look gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Amber Blaze as a midtone. And that goes across the board. So your highlight and midtones should no longer be an issue, right? You know exactly two of the colors you're going to put on a person, right? So if you match that person in like beige 1, what color highlight and midtone are you going to suggest to them? There you go. And if you match bronze for their foundation, what color are you going to match them to? There you go. You guys got it. Awesome. So there's no brain work in that. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so now we're going to go into where the real color comes in, and that's going to be the accent color, that darkest of the trio. The accent color is dependent on their eye color. What color eyes do they have? Okay. Their accent color is based on their eye color. So, if you have blue eyes, Your eye color really benefits from browns, golds, and grays. Okay, if you have green, browns, purples, and blues look gorgeous on your eyes. Okay. Now, if you have gray eyes, purples, and browns look gorgeous. Okay. Gray eyes are purples and browns. If you have brown eyes, or if you are African American or have brown, that's going to be a little darker of a brown or just brown eyes. Purples look gorgeous. Deep blues, greens, and even deep browns. But the thing about a deep brown is that you have to make sure that it shows up. So if you are a dark bronze color, all the browns will not show up, right? Okay. If you're hazel, you can choose between the green and the brown category, depending on how green or brown your eyes are. Remember, hazel is a combination of green and brown. So sometimes if you have hazel, you'll find that sometimes if you wear green, they look a little bit more green. If you wear brown, any other color, they might look a little bit more brown, just depending. So you can choose, you have the option to choose between the green and the brown categories, right? So that makes it very simple. So we're not necessarily going through, you don't have to have the whole kit and caboodle to do this, right? So that's what we're going to work with. We're going to stay within those guidelines so that it makes it very much, it just takes out the brain work of it. So you can actually be more relational with the person instead of trying to think or you're nervous about choosing what colors for that person. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, so let's invite Karen up again so we can do part 2. Let's give her a huge round of applause, you guys. Awesome. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start with my eye primer. Eye primer, again, is adhesive for your eyeshadow. It helps your eyeshadow stay on a lot longer. I'm going to go ahead and put this all over the eye. All over. And sometimes if I'm using eyeshadow underneath, which I usually do, you're gonna look all the way up to the sky for me, and I'm gonna just run it up right along her bottom lashes. Okay, just gently, just pressing on there, okay? Now, I like to use that, and sometimes I also like to go ahead and use my cream eyeshadows. Now, the thing about cream eyeshadows is that I like to match the cream eyeshadow that I suggest to them to their skin tone, okay? That means that they can probably wear it under all of the eyeshadows that they choose, okay? Just to make it very simple. So if they are ivory, I usually suggest either pale blush or beach blonde. If they are beige, they might benefit from apricot. And if they're bronze, iced cocoa is great. Let's see here. I don't have any of those up here. I have pale blush. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pale blush right there on her eyelid, right here. And it's just, again, it makes the color really pop, the eyeshadow really pop, and it makes it way more intense than it would be by itself. I love pale blush, especially for women who are mature, because it doesn't have any shimmer in it. It has a very matte finish. Okay. So let's see. No. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go on to our color. So I'm going to get my eyeshadow brush. First things first. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up her midtone, which is what? Hazelnut. There we go. And let's see, close your eyes for me. And we're just going to tap that color on to the lid. We're tapping it on. The reason for my tapping is because what happens is I have more control when I'm just tapping the color on, opposed to if I'm swiping it. Let me use another color so you can see what I'm talking about. I am going to tap the color on instead of swiping it back and forth. Do you guys see the difference between the intensity in that? You get less intensity if I swipe it back and forth opposed to when I was tapping it on. Okay. Also, when you're swiping it on, you're also swiping it off, right? So we actually want to tap it so that it's going exactly where we want it. And we're probably going to use half the product. So I'm going to put that all over her lid, her bottom lid, and pull it up to her crease. Let's see, open up for me. Okay. I just want to make sure I have the whole lid covered, especially right at the lash line. Now I'm going to wipe off that same brush because now we're going to use it for our highlight, which is what color, guys? Y'all remember?
Sweet cream.
Sweet cream, right. Oh, that's not it. That's not sweet cream. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply that sweet cream right under her brow. I would like to start at the highest point of the brow and then work my way down. Let's see. Okay. So now we have her highlight and her midtone on. Can y'all see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to switch brushes, and we're going to go ahead and go in with the crease brush. Has a little bit of a dome shape to it. That dome shape is perfect for applying and blending both at the same time. Because see, the tall hairs on the brush help to apply the color, while the shorter hairs around it help to blend it. So there's a purpose for it being a cone-shaped brush. So let's see, what color eyes do you have? Hazel. Have hazel. Okay, so we can choose between the green category or the brown. So I love to use with hazel eyes, if you want to make them look more green, for some reason purple. Have you ever tried purple? It makes them always, yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. It looks way more, your eyes look way more green, right? So let's play with purple just so we can see it and play with it. Okay. So I'm going to start from the outer corner out here. Let's see. Look straight ahead for me. Can everybody see it? Everybody see? Okay, we're going to start from the outer corner. And I am going to go ahead and softly pull that color. Notice I'm not tapping it anymore. Now I'm swiping it, right? Now there is one thing I did forget to tell you guys. I apologize. that when you were with this brush, when you finish applying your highlight color, blend it down into the mid-tone. Don't forget to do that. You want to meet those two colors together and make sure there aren't any color blocks because you don't want to see where either color begins or ends. So make sure to blend that color down and towards the middle of your eye. Make sure not to put that darker color up onto that light color, but bring that light color down into the darker color. Okay? That way, when you get to applying your accent color, you don't really have to worry about all three colors being blended or how to do it. But this color does the applying and the blending for you. So we're going to start out here. We always start on the outer corner of the eye. The reason for that is because the color is strongest when you first put it on the face. And you want the stronger color to be on the outer corner, or else it's going to close in the eye. Let's see, open up. Now notice I stopped kind of like halfway on her eye. I didn't want to go all the way in. I want to see how far I want to go in with that color. Okay. So I'm just going to bring it up. You can, if you have deep set or even if you have hooded eyes, I'm going to show you how to apply your color. You're going to open up your eye. I like to do it when it's open, when your eye is open, and go ahead and apply your accent color that way, because you want to make sure that when your eye is open, you can see the color, right? I don't know about you, but I do my makeup to be appreciated by others, okay? So they got to see it when my eye is open. So I'm going to apply the accent color when her eye is open, just so I can make sure that it's on a little bit above the crease so you can see it. Can everybody see that? Okay. I also like to take the color underneath the eye a little bit. It makes the eye appear a little larger. So I'm going to take that same accent color, which is iris, which is a purple, and a smudger brush. Or you can do the smudger brush, or you can do your eyeliner brush, whichever one you have. And I'm going to get that same accent color and apply it underneath. And I'll probably go about a third of the way in, or this, step back and see if I want to go in any further. Can everybody see that color? And you see how much bigger her left eye now looks than, her right eye looks than her left eye? Everybody see that? And you want to meet that color on the outer corner of the eye. Okay, now you're done with your three colors. Isn't that easy? Really, really easy. Now here's one more bonus tip. If you have deep set eyes, it would probably be to your benefit to add a little bit of highlight on the inner corner of your eye. This helps to lighten up that area. I like to use a shimmer light color, like something like crystalline or spun silk, a very light shimmer, silver, or champagne eyeshadow for the inner corner. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to use that same smudger brush, and I'm just going to really tap right on top of her tear duct. Let's see, open up for me. And that just makes the inner corner look a lot brighter.
For bronze skin.
For deep set eyes.
Right, for bronze skin, deep set eyes.
Uh-huh.
Still use those two red colors?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be a little tap, and that just makes a difference. It makes it a little brighter. Can y'all see that? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to move on to eyeliner. Now, one thing I love to do is that I love to match my eyeliner to my accent color. I usually, if they're trying out the products for the very first time, I probably won't suggest black or brown, because how many people do not have a black or brown eyeliner, right? Yeah, that's probably one of the first products that you've ever bought, a piece of makeup that you've ever bought. right, is a black or a brown eyeliner. So I like to try, because a lot of people, they won't go into trying a colored eyeliner. So I would expose them to the color eyeliners because we have so many, right? So because I used Iris, that purple accent color, I'm going to use a purple eyeliner, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and line her eye. I'm just going to start on the outer corner. I want to start on the outer half because I'm not sure how far I want to go in. So I'm going to just start on the outer half. So you're going to close your eye for me. First, we're going to make sure it can come out a little bit. I think we just needed to kind of take off that tip. Okie dokie. Now, I like to lay the eyeliner a little bit on its side and drag it. I'm going to give the eye a little bit of a pull, just a little tug, just to stretch the skin a little bit. It just makes it easier to pull it across. Okay, let's see, open up for me. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the eyelid. Let's see. Yep, that looks great. And so that already defines her eye a little bit more already. So that's the top lid. Now we're going to do a little bit on the bottom. I'm going to go through her bottom lashes. I'm starting from the outer corner. Let me know when you're going to cry. And this, again, just defines the eye a lot more. Can y'all see that? It doesn't make her eye look darker or anything like that, but it just really just pulls out that color. Now we're going to go ahead and apply mascara. This is my favorite part. So I'm going to start on the bottom of her, I'm going to start on her bottom lid first. If you are going to apply mascara, you want to start on your bottom lashes first, okay? Because if you look up, if you start on your top lashes, then you look up, you're going to create a mess. And so in order to avoid that, put your lashes, do your bottom lashes first. It's getting tongue-tied. I'm going to take a business card, and I'm going to put it right underneath her bottom lashes. This is what's going to help me avoid hitting her skin when I put on her mascara. So, and then I just go ahead and apply the mascara straight to the lashes without hitting her face. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara to her top lid. So you're going to look down for me. Now I'm going to go to the root of the lash with the mascara wand, wiggle it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then pull it all the way out. Going to the root of the lash, wiggling it back and forth, and then pulling it all the way out. Let's see, open up for me. Back and forth, and then pulling it all the way out. Just like that. Let's see. Okay. I like to add about 20 coats of mascara, but but I would suggest probably just adding about 2 or 3. It will be more than fine. Let's see, look down for me. Awesome. This will help to evenly distribute the mascara without having to go back and comb it out. Because remember, we're wiggling the wand back and forth and then combing it out towards the tip of the lashes. See, open up for me. Okay, and there you go. Can y'all see now the difference between her left and her right eye and how much of a difference that makes? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So now that we've done her eyes, now we're going to go ahead and complete the look by doing her lips, right? So we are going to go ahead and, you know what, I didn't even get your powder and your foundation. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do her lips by applying her powder and foundation. Does anybody have any quick questions?
You use golden vanilla and amber glaze, no matter how light or dark the bronze person is.
No, it looks gorgeous on like everybody, literally. Yeah.
When you use the purple eyeliner at the top, did you go all the way in or did you stop?
That's a great question. For her, I just went on the outer corner, but depending on how wide your lid is, you can go all the way in, depending on the look that you want. Now remember that eyeliner does have the ability to close your eye in or make it look smaller. So if you already have small eyes, then it wouldn't be to your benefit to go all the way in. It would just be to your benefit to probably just stay on the outer corner. But if you have larger eyes or a lot of eyelid, you can go all the way in, absolutely. But if I don't know her and I was suggesting how to put on eyeliner, I would just suggest that she start on the outer half and go out first before inching her way on the inner corner. Does that make sense? Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and for her lips, I like to take a little bit of foundation or a little bit of your concealer, and I like to cover the lips a little bit. Oop. This feels weird. I know it does. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out the color of her natural lip color. Okay. I'm taking that out. And then with my finger, I'm just going to blend it out. I'm just going to blend the edges. Everybody see that? Okay. So now she has a really clear palette. She can do any color on top with this look because her natural lip color is not competing with the color that's going to go on top of it. Also, if you have smaller lips, that means you probably have to create your lip line with your lip liner a little bit outside of your natural lip line. So this helps to just kind of make everything look very natural. Okay. Now with her powder, I'm just going to go ahead and set that. Just right on top of her lips. So I applied the foundation or the concealer, then I powdered it. Now we're going in with the liner. Okay. So you can start right here at the Cupid's bow, which is that little V right there, and then go on the outer corner. Now, the best part about concealing your lips before you put on your lipstick or lip liner is that you can make your Cupid's bow as deep or as pronounced. You can make it as pronounced or as, or you can take it away completely. So the Cupid's bow is this little V right here. So I'm going to pull that all the way out. I'm going slightly a little above her top lip. And it's just going to make her lips appear a lot more fuller. And then on her bottom lip, I'm just following her natural lip line. Okay. Now I'm going to just fill in her lip a little bit with that color. This helps to keep your lipstick on a lot longer. You soon-to-be bride, this is going to be that trick, okay? This is going to be the trick that keeps it on a lot longer. So you color in the entire lip with the lip liner, top and bottom.
So you're doing the whole lip?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's soft blush.
Yes, this is soft blush. Oops, sorry. Can y'all see that? Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're gonna go on top of it with her lipstick. So you're gonna smile for me? I always ask them to smile and then open up a little bit. So smile, yeah, awesome. Because what this does is it stretches the lip. And then on top, you see already it's a very seamless color. If her natural lip color was there, then it might interfere with the color going on top. And how gorgeous is this lip color on her, right? This is Sunset. Isn't that pretty?
It's funny how that looks different on everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now we're just gonna apply a little gloss. We're gonna just put a little gloss. Now, if you already have very full lips, you can just focus on putting a little gloss on the center of your lip. You don't have to put it on the entire lip. But if you have thinner lips, it would be to your benefit to put it all over the entire lip. Now, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of gloss either. It doesn't have to be a chunky layer. Just a thin layer look absolutely gorgeous. Doesn't that look pretty? Mm-hmm. And so that's your look, right? How different does she look?
Yeah.
Totally, it's not about what you look like. It's about what other people think you got, right? That's it. That's all that's about. And we were talking earlier with a guest that's here, and she was saying that, having problems with her pores. I don't really love my pores, and they're a little larger for me. So I suggested that she draw her attention to areas like when adding her color. So maybe make a really gorgeous eye, focusing on your eyeshadows or on your lips, right? Because it draws attention in those areas. Now you don't even care what kind of pores she got. I'm like, I don't see any pores at all, right? That's it. The art of distraction sometimes comes to your benefit instead of just covering up anything. And we as women, we are artists when it comes to distraction, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The push-up bra. Uh-huh. Yeah. We're artists, okay? So that's something that you might want to take into consideration, is drawing attention away from your problem areas. Okay, if you have a scar or anything like that down here that you simply can't cover up, make a gorgeous eye. Put your effort into your eyes. Or maybe you have scarring up here or acne somewhere up here. Draw the attention to your lips. Do you see what I mean? A person's eye is going to be drawn into that area. This woman over here, I can't stop looking at her eyes. I don't even know what in the world is going on with the rest of her face, but her eyes are absolutely gorgeous. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? It's about drawing the eye. So are y'all ready to do this? Awesome. Give Karen a huge round of applause again. Thank you, Karen. You're awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do some question and answer. Yeah.
What colors are you using on your eye?
Oh, child, let me tell you. I got a lot on right now. Let's see. Oh, this is not a very good mirror at all. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Okay. I have on my eye right now. I have honey spice on the inner corner, and then the middle towards the end is on the middle and towards the end of my lower lid is the mulch color in Earthbound at the new Mary Kay at Play. And as a highlight, I have golden vanilla. And all the way across on the top, it's a couple of layering. I have cinnamon stick underneath a layer of no, not espresso, the one that's close to the brown. No.
Chocolate kids.
No, not the brown. No, yes, Cinnabar. Yes, thank you. I was like, I'm right there. Cinnabar. Yes, Cinnabar going again across, and then on the outer corner, a little bit of coal. I also underneath I have the that mulch color that's in earth brown going all the way across, and then I have on black pencil liner on the bottom, and liquid liner on the top. And if y'all haven't seen, it's double winged out there. It's my eyeliner is double winged, and through the middle of the double wing, I have a little bit of honey spice that goes through there. Then I have a little bit of honey spice on the top, just a dust of honey spice on my my inner. This is honey spice. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And then I have 2 pairs of lashes on. That's another place. That's another thing. It's the lashes. Yeah, 2 pairs of lashes on. So that's what I have on my eyes. Yeah, and then mascara on both top and bottom. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. I ain't go front. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
You got up at what time?
I know, right? Right. Literally 6 this morning just to do my makeup. Yeah.
When you use the concealer on her lips, do you use concealer that match her skin, or do you use what kind?
Great question. The concealer that matches her skin. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Any other questions? Y'all ready to get started? Awesome. Let's get started.